It's 5 o'clock.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
I guess that's me. What do you know? I never know because this video always pauses in the middle of it. Hey, what do you know? It's Bleeding Burgundy podcast. It's the middle of goddamn July. No, it's not. It's the beginning of July. We can't even sit here and say this is. We can't even say this is a camp preview because it's not. My God,
not yet.
Not yet. The fuck are we doing here? There's nothing to talk about, so we're going to talk anyway.
We're talking about threads, okay?
Threads. No, we're going to talk about threads.
Threads.
By the way, Scott, I like your threads.
God,
match your threads. Isn't that nice? All right, so we'll try this. All right, Scott. Fuck, marry, kill. Queen Elizabeth, Melania Trump, and Tom Snyder. I know that Queen Elizabeth is dead, but imagine.
I'll take it, John. I'll take it.
You'll take it. Oh, hey, I'll tell you what, that says a lot right there. Anyway, well, I'm not going to even give you a better introduction than that. He would take a dead girl. So, when I look at you, Jesse, and I say, I don't give a dead royal fuck, he would. And that's my friend up there in the top left-hand corner. That is Jesse Martin. How you doing, buddy? I don't have a little thing to play for you. So
fantastic.
I guess I'll have to make
Sorry, I'm not special enough. It's okay.
I know. I've been so busy. I've been thinking it is the beginning of July, and I have to make a new opening for the show, so I have to find time to squeeze that in. So.
Yeah. You're gonna need to do that. You got to find time. It's getting there. Look, we're 3 or 2.5 weeks away from camp opening.
We don't have this down to the hour. Come on, what kind of freaking July podcast is this?
Not yet. We're
countdown clock.
We're 13 days away from officially crowning the new owner of the Washington Commanders.
Isn't that great? And finding out that we're going to be on Hard Knocks. I almost would bet. I'd bet Scotty's life savings on it.
No, I don't think we are. I think he's going to the Jets.
Yeah, I think
the Jets. Has it been announced? Because I haven't really been paying attention. Frankly, I got thrown off of Twitter.
There's a good chance of us being in the in-season Hard Knocks.
Really?
No. Do you know what, Jesse? That's really annoying because the only one that I cannot get is the in-season stuff. Because somehow over in Europe, you cannot subscribe to HBO no matter what you do.
I think it's on Amazon Prime, isn't it?
No, that was the other thing. Well, what I could do, Scotty, and I'll do this. I wouldn't do this for anybody. I would just do it for you. I will videotape, on my phone.
That's right.
You watching it.
Stream it.
I'll just give you the play-by-play. No, I'm just going to videotape myself.
Right, because otherwise we'd be in copyright infringement, and I was hoping you were not admitting piracy right here on the
just sitting eating wings, just like, okay. Well, it was quite good.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what. Back in the day of the Bang Radio Hour, we found this guy. Shit, there's a mosquito just flew past my face. I am not going to be relaxed for the rest of the night. Shit. Anyway, we found this guy on YouTube. Now, this was when this verse started. This whole YouTube channel thing, and this guy taped himself watching the Packers game, right? And I'm looking for funny fan reactions because it was a big final finish. I don't remember which game it was, but it was a big wild finish. And I was looking for reactions. Some people punching their TV, throwing their wife out the door, whatever, that kind of stupid shit. And I found this guy videotaping himself on his YouTube channel watching the Packers game, and it looks like me right here in this camera looking at it. And I'm watching the game, and then all of a sudden the play happens. He jumps up, and he runs away from the screen, and there's nothing on the screen but his fucking couch. And he has 10,000 viewers. So I'm like, 10,000 people are watching this.
I don't get. I see this all the time. I see these reactions all the time, and I'm like, why do people watch it? Why do people
watch the game? You morons! What are you doing? Jesus Christ! Why are you watching somebody watch the game? Watch the game.
I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what joy it would bring somebody to watch somebody else
watch the game
here or watch the game. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't.
What I do like is watching YouTube reactions to draft picks. That's quite cool.
Yeah, okay, like after the fact, but not fucking live.
Yeah, well, draft pick is who cares, man? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Honestly, we watch a 5-hour television show to get honestly about 48 seconds of actual news. All right, from when they announce the names. So who cares? You'll hear that name fucking for the rest of the goddamn night. But watching the game, you know what else I don't get? People in the front row of the fucking game. You see them on TV all the time. They're right in the front row. Man. It's like, dude, the game is happening in front of you. What the fuck are you doing? You're watching it on TV.
I got my phone out, but I'm either waiting for the play to over with, tweet something out, or because I like pissing people off when I'm live at games because I will tweet out if something good happens, and it's like at least like a minute behind. And so people are like, they get what's going on like before they see it on TV, and it irritates some people, but some people like it too. I like it. I like scrolling through social media and finding out if there's like a tense situation going on in the game. I will look and see what happens before I watch it on TV, so I can kind of like just get That's me. I can't do it. I always look at it because I will turn the motherfucker off if there's an interception. If I know an interception's coming, I will turn the goddamn thing off so I don't fucking see it.
I gotta be honest with you guys. Week 1, when we were out there last time, I did record the first touchdown of the Commanders era because
have you watched it again?
If we're on the goal line, he's probably watched it like 36,000 times.
Well, yeah, but he's in another country, and he fucked the queen, and she's dead, so he really doesn't have anything else.
I didn't say that. I said I'd take her clothes. That's absolutely fine.
All right. Hey, somebody send Andy a link if you want to jump in there, bud.
Yeah, Andy, if you want to jump in, you can.
Send him a link. I don't have his email address because the last time I sent it to him on Twitter, he had all kinds of trouble.
Oh shit. Okay. It's the way my seats are is basically on the 5-yard, like right near the goal line. So whenever we're right there, I will pull my camera out. I mean, I'm watching, but I'm still filming.
Right.
So let me see if I can get Andy Burrows in here if he wants to come on.
Fuck it.
So I think the only bit of news we've had then, Jesse, really is this 20th of July date that we've been given for Josh Harris, and then the only other bit I suppose is Chase Roullier's retired this week. By the looks
that's
of
about it.
Yeah.
Good choice. I mean, really, I don't mean good choice. I'm sure it's a
hard. I think it was the right thing. I think it was
it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, he played 6 years. He had a great career. I mean, I feel bad
not only that,
win more, but he was good. He was really good. But it's just past 3 seasons is just one thing.
There's serious
the other
injuries,
and going along even further. It's about quality of life now.
Right. It's like there's life after football. Yeah. He made enough money to generationally change his family. So more power to him. Salute. He played well for it.
So I'm looking at this here. I mean, he has walked away, and we talked about it yesterday. I think he's going to be quite sensible with his money. He's not doesn't look the sort of guy who's driving around, spending money willy nilly. He's made $25 million. So
that'll set you up to at least
then you can turn that
more money.
You can turn that. The more money you make, you make, the more money you can turn into more money.
Of course you can.
I'll miss
$25 million as a paltry sum.
I hope I hope his dad sticks around. He's a good chat with on social media. Burgundy and Gold had some great conversations with him, so hopefully he stays around. Really nice family, and he was a good ball player, man. He was a damn good center for us. Probably the best we've had in 20 years, I would think, at least. But you know what? It's life is more than just fucking football.
Yeah, agreed. I want to try and do something, Jesse, towards the end of this pod if we can. And it's going to be quite funny.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's going to be one
football.
It's going to be one. It's going to be one for John, and we'll
for me.
Yeah, I think so. Let's try and name, or we'll go around the table and we'll name all of the 27 different starters of quarterbacks we've had in the Dan Snyder era.
All right, we'll do that. You do that. We'll do that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no Googling. No Googling.
No Googling.
No Googling.
No.
Hands up. All right. All right. Well, we got to start with Brad Johnson because he was number one. Right. Yeah. All right. So we'll start with Brad Johnson. Jeff George.
What about Tony Banks? Was he?
He was here for a little while.
Tony Banks was there. Yeah, he was 8-6.
Yeah,
Tony Banks. All right. Let's see. Good God,
Jeff George.
There's some serious.
All right, so there was Patrick Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Who came in when Patrick Ramsey got destroyed every other game. Who was the
Patrick Ramsey?
There had to have been somebody back then.
I remember Danny Werfel.
Not David.
What a shout, Danny Werfel.
Good shot, Danny Werfel. And who was the other one? Oh God, we had like three Florida quarterbacks.
Werfel was the one. It was Shane Matthews.
Werfel was
Shane Matthews. Yep, there you go.
Right, Werfel.
Jason Campbell, obviously.
Great,
Rex Grossman. John Beck. John Beck.
Are you keeping account here? How many we got?
Yeah, I got him. I got him. I'm there.
All right. So Jason Campbell, John Beck. We'll go with obviously we're gonna Sam
Donovan McNabb.
All right, Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep back some and then work my way up.
Might as well scratch off the surface. Okay, so Donovan McNabb. Now McNabb came in. That was when we had John Beck and Rex Grossman.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that was 2010. That was 2010, and he had like a 5-8 record. So, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, here's one for you then. Mark Brunell.
Yeah, Brunell.
Mark Brunell. God dang right there, Scott. Mark Brunell.
I know lots of people. We got Brunell at the end of his career, but he had some pretty good games with us, though. He
still the last QB to lead us to a playoff victory.
Yeah, he did.
He is the last QB to lead us to a playoff victory.
The game against the Texans, he set the record for completions in a row. They were like 23 completions in a row for something like 27 yards. Dude was just dinky dunky. But hey, man.
So
he played all right.
Here's one, and the stat was ridiculous when I looked at this. Tim Hasselbeck, obviously.
I remember that.
Right, woeful. You know the stat I'm coming to, don't you? He was the right. So he started.
I think he did. He win like one game.
Yeah, he was 1-4 as a starter for us.
Right.
So he came in for Patrick Ramsey in 2003, and in game one it was 13-19.
Did we say Shane Matthews? Wins. Did we say Shane Matthews?
We did say Shane Matthews
because he was a Florida quarterback, I think.
He was. The next game, his second game, he scored a QBR of 0.0.
Oh, right, that's right. And then we found out that he had a crazy, although hot wife. His wife is hot. But
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Josh Johnson. That's another one. The Enigma.
What's his name? Butt Fumble.
Butt Fumble was 0-2. Yeah.
Right. Oh God, there was 4 quarterbacks in that season.
There was Colt McCoy. Obviously, there's another one.
Okay.
Robert Griffin III, obviously Dwayne Haskins.
Kirk
Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins.
We're doing well.
How many we got so far?
We have got. Did anyone say Taylor Heineke?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I said Schmuck from last year, so I guess that covers him and Wentz. That covers him.
Then we're going. We have got 1, 2, 3. We have got 3 to go, and 4 to go, and 5 to go even, and they're all quite recent. All
right,
they were all in these
seasons. Douchebag that played one game. The douchebag that played one game during the COVID.
Yep.
What was his fucking name? Jesus Christ. He was an ugly motherfucker. Good God, was he?
Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert. That's it. That's what's eating Gilbert's grapes. Yeah,
that's right. Todd Collins.
There you go. I forgot
there
about
you go.
Todd.
Well done,
Send
Burrows.
Andy the link. Todd Collins. Todd
did
Collins
some-
put us in the playoffs.
He did. He did.
And then we're down
garbage.
to. We are down to. He's a former Minnesota quarterback.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. And
that's it.
Who else played with Case Keenum that year? Someone else came in for Case Keenum.
Yeah, they
that
did.
Year.
They did.
Shit,
Fuck.
He's a four. We actually
Colt
played
McCoy?
against this. No,
Did
we
we say
did.
Colt McCoy?
Yeah, we did. He
Okay.
played. The
We've never
person
had
you're thinking
Kai.
of,
Go ahead.
your person you're thinking of, Jesse, there played against us last year as a starting quarterback.
Not Mariota.
We didn't say Fitzpatrick, did we?
Yeah. Or Fitzpatrick. He started one game
was one.
with a
He played 14.
He broke his hip on a water
He
slide.
14 plays. He got run over. That was such a
Oh,
freaky
shit.
thing, man.
Well, everyone said he broke his hip on a water slide. Do you remember?
Oh, I
And then he
remember
came
that.
in,
Yeah, no, that's a
and
load
he
of
came
crap.
in. Well, I don't know if he did or he didn't. He had a subluxation of the hip, which is.
I'll tell you what. If you watch that play in slow motion,
oh, he
all
got
right,
absolutely
if you watch
torched.
the way he lands on him, his leg is straight 90 degrees into the ground, man. And there's all this weight coming right down on his hip. It's just one of those things. You know, 1,000,000-to-1 shot. Well, maybe not 1,000,000-to-1 shot. Probably about 123-4 against shot. And it got him. Boom. And just pushed it right on out. Come on. These people that think he fell off a sliding board, you think he could play 14 plays? Give me a break. You think the starting quarterback of the freaking Washington whatever's at the time, the football team, if he fell off a sliding board at a goddamn water park, you don't think that would be top-notch news? Holy shit.
We said Josh Johnson, right? Josh Johnson.
Yeah, we did.
We did say Josh Johnson. The last one is a QB who came in, obviously started last year for a team, and we beat that team on the road. But he came in as a Rivera pick from Carolina.
Oh, Kyle Allen.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. That was the last one we missed.
Hot damn, I got one.
The legend that is Kyle Allen. Yeah.
All right.
Dear
Yeah, we
me.
said
27 starters, man. 27 starters in the era of Dan Snyder.
And how many coaches? We could play that game too. All right,
The
we had North
Burrows email, Andy. Only one I got.
All right. We had Norv Turner. We had Marty Schottenheimer. If you want to count the interims, who was the interim when Norv got hired? Was that Terry Robisky?
Burrows 1280.
All right, don't go broadcasting his email address. We are to a
That's why
audience.
as soon as I said the 1280, I was like, I'm going to stop.
You never
now.
know. That Yam Starch guy might be some dude that's pretending to be a Nigerian prince trying to scam people. Tell him everybody's email. By the way, yeah, man. What's up with you? You've sounded rather depressed lately. I hope you're all right.
Yeah. I hope Yams are. And I know he might be coming back to the States here soon to.
Well, good. Thanksgiving's coming, and everybody likes a good sweet potato.
To take care of his mama.
That's right. That's a good thing to do. So
yeah, we've had a lot of fucking quarterbacks. Hopefully, goddamn.
I'm playing the head coach game now. So he started with Norv. He fired Norv on. I think was it Terry Robisky?
It was Schottenheimer.
Well, yeah, Terry Robisky. You got to count Terry Robisky. He was there for like 4, 5, 6 games.
Marty Schottenheimer.
He was the coach
at the beginning of Snyder.
No, he came in with Norv Turner.
Well, he fired Schottenheimer after the 8-0 start. I think that was the first year.
No. I don't know. No. He fired Norv after Norv made the playoffs the year before, and then the year after, because then Snyder took over, right? He's took over. So in '99, Norv got his team dismantled by Snyder. That was Snyder's first real big fucking free agent fiasco. I think it was 99 or 2000. But he had Norv, and he fired Norv halfway through the season. And I think Terry Robisky.
That was when Terry Robisky
was our head coach for like 6 weeks. Right, and that was when Jeff George got dragged around the stadium in Texas, and nobody, the fucking offensive lineman, just looked at it.
Then the old ball coach came in.
Thank you.
We had Marty, and then the old ball coach.
Spurrier, then you get
Spurrier, yeah.
Now, who was Spurrier's interim head coach there? That's a good question because Spurrier quit in the middle of the fucking like the end of the season.
Yeah, he was a joke. That's when Joe Gibbs came back, and then the hip hip hooray.
Jim Zorn.
Jim Zorn.
Zorn, wow.
What a
Jim
fucking goof.
God damn it.
Then it was Jay Gruden, obviously after that, and then
Gruden and Rivera.
Who was in between? Who was the interim coach in between?
Callahan. Bill fucking Callahan.
Callahan.
I don't even
Yeah,
count him
Callahan,
as a fucking coach.
I gotta tell you something, boss. It was hard working for Dan Snyder because really, you're trying your best to do whatever you can out there on the football field, and you've got your goals that you're supposed to meet that there on the football field during the football game. And then you hear this little tiny squeaky voice coming from some downward around near your shoe, and you're not sure what it is, and it's telling you what it thinks that all you ought to do, and you kind of ignore it because you're not sure what it is. It's a football game you're trying to win here. And then, what happens after that is it turns out he's your boss, and my God, you're fired before you know what happened. North out.
See enough.
Look what it is.
I sure would like a job if there's anybody out there listening. I haven't worked in a long time. What's up there, Andy? We figured since you were the only fucking person listening, you might as well join the conversation.
What's happening? How is everyone?
What's there to talk about?
What's up? 8 weeks, brother. 8 weeks.
What's going on? I know, man. I better start paying attention again. This is the first Washington thing I think I've done, spoke about, looked at in the last 6 weeks. I've literally not lost interest, but I've just taken a break, not followed on Twitter, and that's about it.
Well, let's face it.
Yeah, that's me, Andy, and Freddie talk like every week. We're like, we recording this week, and the conversation's been the same. No, there's fuck all to talk about. So no.
Now, see, because that's what we started every 2 weeks, and but our next show will be what the fuck is going on in this goddamn
place? Oh my God!
Who let the dogs out?
Holy shit! All right, I'm giving you one demerit for using that joke. That was terrible. Put a strike against Andy's name.
Not for the first time.
So what were you going to say?
Start fucking training camp. So that's
something. Once camp starts, we said that we're gonna record our first pod the week of training camp, because then. And I've been listening to the podcasts and stuff like that, but I listened to you. You've only got to really listen to
repetitive shit.
Yeah, and I said to Scotty the other day in a text. I wind Scotty up when he puts that little thing in. Any questions for the pod? Yeah, why are you fucking recording? There's nothing to talk about. Only Scott could make a podcast last an hour and 27 minutes.
I know.
If it wasn't for Canada Mike, that episode would have been about 10 minutes long.
Yeah. It would be. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
like
you're
4 fucking hours long. I ain't listening to the guy.
No, it's good, man. It's good. Now, fair play to everyone that's still podcasting.
Actually, I did listen to it. All of it today.
I listened to it last night.
I think I fell asleep.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so last night I watched it on YouTube.
One thing that we have to count, we've been counting down. Next week will actually be 2 weeks away from training camp, and the week after that will actually be 1 week away from training camp, and that really is the news. But it is kind of weird that there is no fucking news. This is the time of year where we usually duck in the shit that's been thrown. Right? We're usually
is that a bad thing? No.
Seriously, we've been standing at the monkey cage waiting for something to happen, and they've been throwing shit at us for 20 years. This is when we're all ducking, but not this year.
Hopefully, some ownership news comes out soon. I mean, I haven't heard anything.
The 20th, July
20th of July, apparently.
What's
that's the date.
What's been on my mind a little bit is the fucking report. What's her fuck? Not the Wilkinson, but the what's her?
Another one.
The other one. The
other
Betty
one.
Joe, Mary Joe, or Susie Joe.
What's the latest?
Yeah, that's supposed to be released.
Is it Mary Joe? Is it Mary Joe White?
Yeah,
or
Mary Joe
Is that
White.
The one? Yeah,
that's it.
Betty Joe or Debbie Sue. I'm not sure which one. The Betty
but
Joe.
Other than that, I think
that Dan Snyder's just nothing but hands. Let me tell you something.
We know Snyder does not want that released, and I'm wondering if the NFL is trying to bury it.
Of course they are. They can't wait, man. See what they're. I swear to God, the commissioner gets up every morning when he hears the alarm clock screaming, "What the hell now for the goddamn Commanders? Jesus Christ!" But this year, it's like he's got post or PTSD, man. He's got to get over that because nothing has happened, and he's just waiting for that other shoe to fall. And
we
really,
talk about John, we've all got PTSD because nothing's happened yet. We're sitting here going, "Where's the bomb? When's this all going to go wrong? When's it all going to pull out?"
We got Twitter falling apart and no news in Washington.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Imagine all your 600 limited tweets that you're allowed to look at.
I was so glad to have been banned during that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We better be professional for.
I saw Twitter was I saw Twitter had the hump that Jason Wright was staying on. I stupidly scrolled through Washington Twitter yesterday, and everyone was moaning that Jason Wright's staying on, and I was like, "Well, that's a good thing, surely."
Yeah, I think so.
The things that these people complain about, really, I mean, the Sean Taylor thing, whatever. It's not. Everybody who has any inclination about the history of this team won't work for Dan Snyder. They didn't want to work for him. I've told you this before on this show. I'm a graphic designer. I worked in the sports world in Washington. It was bane to work there because, I mean, I'm sure the people there are much better off now, but working when he was there was a fucking nightmare. So, yeah, they ran people that were any good that knew anything out of the building, and now you got a bunch of people that have to use Google to look up what the fuck the years were that we won Super Bowls, and they put it on the patch, and it's completely fucking wrong. All right. And I mean, I'm dead serious. That's what it is. They got no choice. What's Jason Wright supposed to do? He's the one that's supposed to be fucking sitting there looking at Wikipedia, finding out what years these are. No, that's a fucking job that you give to some goddamn intern level or, a subordinate to handle, but they don't know shit because they can't find anybody that knows shit to work for Dan.
That's true.
Right. And the other thing is Jason's not going anywhere because try as they might, they have yet to be able to pry Keith's fucking lips from his ass. And it's like a bar.
Right? Is that where Keith is tonight? After Jason Wright's ass?
He's holding on for dear life. He's got his feet hooked in Jason's desk chair. He's got that lip right on.
Jason Wright goes for a shit and half of Keith drops out.
No, Keith has just to move to the side. I'm okay. There you
go. I'm sorry, Jason. You want to go for a crap? I'll get out the way.
I don't excuse me, but let me move to the side. But no, seriously, they've got Navy divers down there trying to get Keith off. And once they are able to remove him without any danger, of course, to Jason Wright, then he'll probably be fine. But
yeah, no, I think if Jason given the proper tools to work with, I think he'll do a damn good job. I mean, the people that complain about Jason Wright are the ones that are sitting at home on their couch scrolling through Twitter,
right?
And they don't go to the games. I mean, I've been there when this team was run by Serrato and Bruce Allen. It's different. There, you see changes. You've seen the different things. How accessible Jason Wright is to fans that treat him with respect. I mean, he will come up to you. I was one of the first 20 people into the new fan shop that opened in week 1, and he came right up to me. He's like, "Man, I'm so glad to see you." And shook my hand and patted me on the back. And I mean, that you wouldn't get that from anybody else that had worked here in the past.
No, I hit his car in the parking lot, and the dude was all cool about it. Banged right into it.
We saw him the day before on week 1, and just for some dudes from the UK, and some of the things that he was telling us, and you could clearly see that the guy cared about what he was doing. And you only had, when we were walking around the building with him, walking around FedEx, it's not often you get a tour from the president, but you saw the respect that the staff had for him. And it wasn't like one of them buildings where like, oh my God, no, here comes the boss. They were happy to see him, happy to engage. He was polite, respectful, as you expect to be, but you could just generally tell that he cared about the staff in that building. And from what we've all heard, that's something that Washington hasn't had for years. There wasn't a building, there wasn't a people to go and talk to. Jesus Christ, we didn't have a HR department up until 2 seasons ago. For God's sake, it's just some woman or probably some dude sitting in a little hut somewhere with a biro pen, and that was about it.
It was a woman with her best qualifications were her short skirt. Remember, I mean, some of the things that they told us about, like the glass staircase that they all would hang out underneath.
Oh my god,
like a bunch of fucking high school kids.
But that's what you have to remember as Washington fans is how far we've come.
Yeah,
right.
And
they put carpet on that staircase. You can't see
these people. These people will shit on these people, like Jason Wright and the Herneys that have come in, and people will sit on Twitter, sit in their mum's basement when they've run out of Star Trek DVDs to watch, and they'll just start tweeting random shit about Jason Wright or whoever. And you have to remember where we've come from.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Once you finish jacking off into your sock, you know you have to remember like this is a team that. You know, we've come so far. It's ridiculous.
This is a family podcast, Andy.
Well, yeah, nobody, you don't use this.
I know I've been out the loop for a while, but when did this become a family podcast?
It's never been a family podcast.
Jack over your Charmin. And by the way, all you Star Trek fans out there, man, whatever. I can't do the fucking thing, but I like Star Trek, so fuck off.
People want to blame the water pipe that supposedly was sewage. For busting on Jason, they want to blame the rail that about 300 freaking Eagles fans were leaning up against that fell. They want to blame that on Jason. But the fact of the matter is, Jason had hardly any budget to work with for anything. These problems is he's taking on the burden, but those problems are not his to solve. I think. Dan Snyder has cut so much corners with inspections and stuff like that. And Jason's taking the brunt of the blame. And these guys, you guys know how pissed off I was about the whole Sean Taylor Memorial. But when I heard the backstory of it and how his daughter actually helped design that thing,
yes,
I kind of cooled off about it. And I just think he gets a lot of shit for stuff that happened well before he got here.
Jesse, I got a question for you. What's the feeling like? Obviously, I know you're not local, like DMV local, like you're not next to FedEx or anything. But what's the feeling amongst the fans in and around Washington now? The ones that you spoke to, friends of yours, or people that are like, what didn't want to get involved with the dance? Are they happy to come back now and happy to try and embrace the team? Because I've spoke to fans that were like, I'm coming back now, and I've spoke to fans that are like, no, I'm never. What's the feeling like around where you are, like your friend, like your friends?
I think more people are more likely to actually spend money on the team when getting gear. And a lot, years ago, even though they were still fans, they just didn't want to line Dan Snyder's pockets. And now that the team is changing hands, it's going to be a different story. They'll go out and spend, the however many $100s it is to take the family to a game, sometime during the season. They'll go on Fanatics and buy a hat or shirt. And beforehand, they didn't want to, put anything in Dan's pocket, and understandably so. But I think there's optimism around this franchise right now, and it all boils down to Dan Snyder leaving. Whether you believe in Sam Howell or not, there's still a little. It's lighter in this fan base, and I think we've sunken so low that no matter how we do this season, it's we can only go up from here, because we were at the bottom. I mean, we were at the pits, we were at the dregs, we were at the fucking center of the goddamn earth, burning in hell for 20-something years of shit fucking football. Yeah, we've made 3 playoff appearances here and there, won 1 fucking playoff game since Snyder has taken over the team. It has to get better, and I think people are actually realizing or understanding that. And is it going to happen overnight? Absolutely not. But you can
I was
rest
expecting
assured
it by tomorrow. So fucking thanks for shooting my goddamn dreams down.
Week 1 will be sold out.
I think so.
They're doing. I saw a promotion today. They're giving away 2 tickets for $79.
Yep, they want that stadium full.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That stadium full.
What I see among people that I know are Commanders fans. First off, let me just tell you about getting so low. As Keith would always say, until you fucked a chicken on New Year's Eve, you've never been so low. So take that for whatever it's worth.
Jesus Christ, John.
Listen,
family show.
well, Keith is the one that told me that. and he's got the family. Right now, I would say that it's more or less of a eyebrow cocked up, show me attitude that I'm seeing. I'm seeing people that are more like, all they have to do is see what's going to go on. Sure, they look good. They've looked good in the past, but whatever. Let's see what happens. It doesn't matter anything until they win is most of the attitude that I'm getting from a lot of Commanders fans. Of course, where I live, there's not a whole lot of Commanders fans, believe it or not. I've always, I've grown up right in the DC area, I really inside the Beltway. So the majority of fans that I knew were fans of the Cowboys, fans of this team, fans of that
very
team.
transient town.
It's not even transient. Yeah, there's a lot of assholes here, and they just like to fucking I love the Cowboys and the Yankees and the Celtics. Oh, really? Now it would be the Lakers, but back when I was younger, it was the Celtics. Right. So we got a lot of bandwagoners in this town, and a lot of people that are contrarian that just like the team that nobody else likes. So
see where it's a little bit different from where I'm from. I live in Southeast Virginia, and we are all predominantly Redskins fans.
There's a lot of Redskins fans, no kidding.
Yeah, but like this was our team even before the Carolina Panthers came to town. You got North Carolina, South Carolina, and up. South Carolina wasn't. They weren't Falcons fans. Most of them were Redskins fans. Growing up in the 70s and 80s.
Before the Falcons, we were the team all the way up and down the southeast seaboard.
And this town. I mean, a lot of people just stop watching. But people are, like John says, they're cocking their eye. Like, okay, let's see what. Of course, winning is going to solve a lot.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is nobody expects something every month to come out about something the Washington Commanders have done that's fucked up anymore.
That's why it's so quiet right now, and I think that's testament. Yeah. I think that's a good thing because
that's like I said earlier. That's a great thing.
We're trending in the right direction. We're not talking about scandals, or we're not talking about someone doing something that they shouldn't. It's nice that we're just waiting for football. We're doing what most football fans do, and we're not used to it. This is why it feels weird that I haven't podcasted.
We're arguing about the list that media members put out, and
that's not even
we're not Ron Rivera's not the 21st ranked coach. Terry McLaurin's not the 17th rated wide receiver. That's what we're supposed to be arguing about right now, not the fucking Wilkinson report.
So let me bring one up. Dan Orlovsky had some high praise for Sam Howell the other day.
Started with Mina Kimes.
Started with Mina Kimes.
I'm sorry, I'm in love with Mina. I just want to give her proper credit and ask her to marry me. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. All right. Well, so I'm thinking that the people always all laugh about Dan Orlovsky because he stepped out of the end zone, and I'll say it again.
That was fucking funny. Though
it was funny, but you know what? People that can teach you how to play the games might not know how to play the game. All right. That dude's
smart dude.
He knows more about pro football than practically anybody on Twitter that's going to make fun of him. And he played the position of quarterback. And whether he played it actually well or not, that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do it. He physically just might not be able to, or he might make stupid mistakes like that. And oh wait, that's not the right one. Why do I have all the wrong goddamn things on here? Boy, I fucked things up.
Most quarterback coaches, there were quarterbacks that were not very good ones.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches though that weren't particularly great players, but they made good coaches, or it happens. It happens over here, and we've got some great soccer coaches who were crap. They were, and now they've gone on to be some of the greatest. Players, they've gone on to be some of the greatest managers of all time.
All right, who's calling? What's the call ID say? Hello.
You thought it was Mina Kimes. You thought it was Mina Kimes. I don't want nothing. I'm just glad that we ain't hearing no bad talk about Dan Snyder's football team.
Jerry, I appreciate you having us on speed dial. It warms our heart here in Washington country. What's going on in Dallas land nowadays?
Well, I'll tell you something. We're getting ready for another playoff football season here. Come down, Dallas. And this year, I'm going to tell you straight up from the horse's mouth, straight from the goddamn face of Mr. Ed. Listen, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. And ain't nothing going to hold us back. Dak Prescott's going to fire up the goddamn skies of Dallas with touchdown passes unlike the world's ever seen. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If you call up right now to cowboyshop.com and you put in the goddamn promo code Super Bowl, I will send you a preview copy of the program that we're going to give away in week 1 of the preseason. The Dallas Cowboys versus, I don't know, some goddamn football team. I'm not sure. I don't even know if we're on the road or not. All I know is that, goddamn it, my mescaline's starting to wear off. And when that starts to happen, I start thinking about things that probably ain't quite right to talk about on podcasts. So anyway,
this is a family show, Jerry. So
that's why I won't use the fuck word. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to say that in any way, shape, or form. I just want to know you guys are the only Commanders fans I talk to. I left some messages with Tanya about, maybe sending me a pair of her panties or something like that. Do you know if she's possibly heard anything or has she said anything?
Not that we've heard, old Jerry. Right. Hey, what's your promo code this week?
The promo code is Super Bowl. I just said it, you slack-jawed idiot, and that's why I called up to laugh, because you know something right now, it's just goddamn funny as hell when I'm listening to a podcast and I hear some goddamn hillbilly like you saying, I want Mina Kimes to marry me. I mean, goddamn it just makes me laugh so goddamn hard.
Jerry, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
If Mina would go on a date with you, would you take her out?
Oh, my God. I wouldn't just take her out. I'd take her out past the 3-mile limit. Let me tell you something. That's the best thing about having a ship. You can get outside of the goddamn law, and you can do anything you want. And let me tell you something, Nina.
Arrest my point, like Jerry. Arrest my point.
Exactly. That's right. I got a whole goddamn hold underneath the main deck of my ship that's filled with nothing but Viagra. Mina, I'll tell you something right now. We would have a pleasure cruise unlike you would never forget. That's for dang sure.
Jerry, are you going to remain friends with Mr. Snyder when he's no longer in Washington? Are you still going to hang out?
Well, I got to tell you something. What's the matter with you? You got a cold or something? God dang it.
No, it's just the way, I talk very
he's just
proper.
British.
We talk proper.
Oh, I see there. Let me see. Blimey. How you say it?
No, English, Jerry, not Australian.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're one of them there blokes. That's what they call y'all. All right, then. I'll keep in contact with good old Dan the same way you kind of hang around with a friend that you don't really give a damn about, but his goddamn wife is worth fucking. So you stick around. Oh, dang, I said I wasn't going to say that word. So sorry about that, kiddies out there.
Family podcast.
Listen, I don't mean to say anything bad about Dan. I mean, look, the man can pee on whatever he wants. It's not my business. I just don't want to think about him peeing on her anymore. And Tanya, if you're listening, hey, listen, don't blame me. You get yourself all in a twist there, Mr. Bloke. I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't Dan or it ain't me that's got that kind of problem. You invite Dan over to your house, put up the shower curtains before he gets there. That's all I'm gonna say.
So Jerry, in the owners club, then, Jerry, who's the next on the list now that Dan's gone? That's going to be seen as the person that you least like. Is it Big Jim? Maybe at the Colts?
Jimmy Irsay. Oh, my God, no. I love that man. I'm telling you something right now. All you got to do to get Jimmy's vote is show him a couple of lines of cocaine, and that man will vote no matter what you want him to say. Look, we want to put a goddamn team in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Nobody wants to do it, but I can get Jimmy's vote with just a couple of lines. So, yeah, Jimmy gets to stay.
Is Jimmy going to be the new Dan Snyder?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I don't think he's going to do anything like that because, quite frankly, Jimmy hasn't been able to get it up since 1991 or so. So there's no problem with him in terms of any kind of sexual issues like it was with Dan. And frankly, that's the one thing that you can't get away from is something like that. Or, you say something racial or something like that. Then you're in serious trouble. But it's the sexual stuff that gets us because really anything else we do, we just tell y'all to go fuck yourself and come up with some football games. And hey, look at that. Everything's forgiven. Look at me. I get my photo taken in the goddamn truck stop toilet with a couple of whores and nobody gives a damn. Remember that? True. I got that framed over my bed.
Jerry, we appreciate you popping in.
I certainly don't mind. Go Cowboys. Jerry out.
Well, Jerry, you just never know when Jerry will decide to call in on the show. I think we should change our number.
Jerry's got to know how to get his sound effects right because looking up the show.
All right, so we're talking a little bit of football, offensive line, or we're going to talk wide receivers. Which one?
I don't care. Ooh. Talk about whatever you want.
I don't mind either.
Let's do wide receivers. Let's keep it on a high note. We did the defensive backs last week, so when we get to the O line, that's kind of a low note. So let's talk about some good. We have a good room. We got a good room of wide receivers. I mean, obviously headed by Terry McLaurin. The debate right now for him is he a top 10 receiver? Well, I think we're going to find out this year. He's kind of been on that cusp.
With shit quarterbacks.
That's the thing. How is he going to be with a strong-armed, accurate quarterback? Andy, I'll start with you. What do you think? You think he's going to break that top 10 and become that like quasi elite type of receiver? Because I don't think he's there quite yet, and that's not necessarily his fault. I think it's just the quarterback that he's played with.
Yeah, I think in our minds he's there because we know what he's capable of. But like you say, when he's had 1,000 different quarterbacks in the short space of time that he's been in Washington,
1,000 different shit quarterbacks.
That's that, yeah. And he hasn't had really anyone where you've gone, man, this guy's good, and you haven't produced the goods. You've only got to look at some of the catches that he's made when he has had dogs. He had Heineke that couldn't throw in the ball, and he had to cut out of his route early. Alex Smith was, Keenum.
I just had a look there. There's 9 Burrows, 9 QBs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
I think Case Keenum probably was the best one.
Case Keenum probably had the best arm out of everyone. Yeah. If you're talking like,
and that's fucking sad to say.
But this is unfortunately where we've been, and it's the shit show that we've been, and to say that Sam Howell. Yeah, the problem is we don't know if he's got an elite quarterback. I just hope he's got a sustainable quarterback who can put the ball in the positions where Terry can be effective.
I think what we've had
in the past is Terry make what I call Hollywood plays. You're like, there's no fucking way. There's no way he should have caught that ball. There's no way he should have done that. No, and you've only got to look at week 1 last year when you throw the man in stride. Scott, the play I'm talking about.
I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it was you and Scouts were sat literally right next to me, and you said, no doubt about it, between the two, you went, this is Terry straight away, touchdown.
Yeah, when you put the ball, and we called it, but you can see when he's one-on-one. And there's no one better, in my opinion, in the National Football League. When he is one-on-one, the problem is he doesn't get one-on-one a whole lot because he is the main focus of our offense. The teams just double team him, or the secondary, they look out for him. As soon as he's anywhere in that backfield, he's getting squashed. So that was when you need people like a Diami Brown and stuff like that to take the workload off him. But Terry is an elite quarterback, in our opinion. For him to show that to the rest of the league and the rest of the world, that's up to Sam Howell to put the ball in the right positions for him to be. And I don't want to see him running 50 yards down the field to then run back 10 yards to get the ball. And from the glimpses, but the glimpses that I saw of Sam Howell last season, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he can throw the ball. I don't think he's going to be that gunslinger. Oh boy, he's going to be that gunslinger that throws the ball. 80 yards.
That was what Orlovsky and Mina Kimes were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're breaking down that play. And that's what brought up the discussion. Orlovsky kind of broke it down really well, and I love the way that he basically Sam Howell. This is the key for Terry. Sam Howell. Terry's got elite contested catches. He's number 1 the past 3 years in contested catches. But just
look at the 2 plays that stand out for me straight away is the Indianapolis Colts play to win it last year, and then the LA Chargers play that I actually thought was an interception.
Disgusting. That was right in front of me.
It was right in front of me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, John was sitting right. We were sitting right next to each other. We were like, "What the fuck just happened there?"
They're all plays that he makes. They're all plays that he makes. He makes them happen. He makes them plays happen. There's not many. There's not many wide receivers in the league that can do that kind of play. A lot of the receivers that would have gone over the head. It would have gone out of bounds. He will make bad plays into good plays because he
that Green Bay game when we
now,
beat Green Bay, was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
no, year before.
There's two plays basically in a row where he had to come back to the ball and just fight with it because they were just such bad balls.
Oh my God, Joe, please.
What about the Philadelphia game where he come back in here to make the tackle? The Philadelphia game, he had to come back and make a tackle on his own goal line. He had to turn into a defender and he ran the length of the field. And he made a tackle, and we won that game. And if it wasn't for that tackle, we wouldn't have won that game.
John, is McLaurin a top 10 receiver in your eyes?
That's a crowded top 10. All right, he's near the back end of it.
There's so many good receivers.
Not only are there so many good receivers, but there's some seriously elite receivers right now. Justin Jefferson, like the top 5 receivers are some seriously elite guys. But McLaurin, he can definitely squeeze his way in there. And the thing about what you said, Andy, about let's see what he can do with the ball in front of him with something to do. Last year against the Cowboys, he had that crossing route that he dropped. It was dead out in hand. Dead out. He dropped it. And the only thing I could think
shocked that the ball was there.
Exactly. That's the only thing I could think about was he was like, what? I don't have to stop, fall down backwards. And
what's this thing that's in stride? I don't know what to do with it.
What is
we've talked about it, John, as well. It was the change of pace on that 55-yarder. That he thought, holy shit, I've got to engage this next gear. Mm-hmm. And the only other time you talked about it as well, Burrows, just then, the only time we've ever seen that was that first throw by Case Keenum in game 1 against Philly, where it was an absolute dart. And you were like, holy shit, have we actually got a guy here who's going to be unbelievable? I'm going to stand out on a limb here and say that Terry is a top 10 receiver, only because of the quarterbacks that he's had to play with. I mean, if you think in your own mind right now, you're right, John, you're absolutely right. It's a crowded top 10. But think of the guys that are in that top 10.
There's like 9 other guys.
Adams has had what? Aaron Rodgers, and to some extent, hasn't been as good when he's been in Las Vegas. Who else have you got? Diggs. Brilliant quarterback. You've got Jamar Chase, brilliant quarterback.
Diggs, what's the relationship like right now with Diggs up in fucking Buffalo?
I know that. But he's a top 10 receiver.
But him and his quarterback have got some kerfuffle going on.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
You hear about the stuff that was said in the playoff game last year, right? Diggs, and then he doesn't show up. So we'll see about that. He does have the talent, though.
But that's what I'm saying. When you've got them, these guys with these elite QBs. What has Terry had and what has he got? He's got what is essentially a rookie quarterback now. I mean, we know he's a year 2 guy, but he's played 1 game.
You know what Terry's also going to have that he's never had before?
Eric Bieniemy. Exactly right.
He's finally got someone. He hasn't got some doofus on the sideline calling plays that a 10-year-old that can do, that we can sit on our couch calling. He's got someone that's been there, done it, won a Super Bowl, knows how to call a play that isn't just a 5-yard drop down play where Terry just literally gets out of his route for like two strides and the ball's there. No, he can actually be an NFL wide receiver now. He hasn't just got 2 pages as a playbook now. He's probably got 52 pages of just a playbook that he's got to look through. That, you know, the enemy is I cannot stress how much of a difference this man is going to make to our team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We've got to hope so. We hope so. I mean, this is a trial by fire. You know,
he'll give them the tools to operate. It's just whether the players can run with that. He'll give our receivers the tools to work with. He'll say to them, come week 1, they will be ready, and he will say to them, look, you've got everything now at your disposal. Now it's up for you to go and execute what I've shown you.
Let's move on to our wide receiver 2. Our first round draft pick, Jahan Dotson. I mean, if he did not get hurt, I think he would have been running for the rookie of the year. I think he was that good.
He had quarterback problems. How many times did we watch him separate in the end zone to watch the ball go sailing past him?
Yeah, he hit someone
at least 3 or 4 times. He had a touchdown. He was wide open. His ability to separate in short spaces is really, really incredible.
His separation is second to none as well. The separation.
What I can see
spots too.
Yeah.
What I can see that will hurt Terry's claim to that top 10 is him getting more looks, just because of I mean, you're basically going to have a 1A, 1B receiver.
That's it. 1A, 1B.
I don't know, man. This is Bieniemy. All right, Bieniemy spreads that ball around and he does all.
That's what I mean.
On the field.
We could have 3,000.
Anybody can be number one at any time, including a running back.
What I could see 3,000-yard receivers, or if you include tight ends,
hopefully on week one.
You know, I mean, you think of all the stuff that you're hearing out of camp, how good Logan Thomas is actually looking, and if he stays healthy, you know how much they use the tight ends. Am I thinking
tight end sets blocking down the field are going to be important this season?
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to turn into a Kelsey, but I mean, Logan Thomas had almost 700 yards with shit for quarterback play a couple years ago before he got injured.
2020 season, he was phenomenal.
But how good can Dotson be? Could he go be a number one receiver on another team?
100%. Not a doubt in my mind the way he is, and also. If you watched him, he was on a podcast, the Second Wave podcast. It's called.
I watched that. That was a good one.
You watched that? Feels slighted, has that chip on his shoulder. That why am I not being talked about as the guy who's going to come out in the second year and have that breakout year? And he thinks I'm going to have that breakout year. I mean, honestly, the guy missed 5 games. If we go back and we look, he's got 7 touchdowns already, and he's missed 5 games. How many in them 5 games when he was averaging probably 1 every 2-ish? You're probably talking double-digit touchdowns minimum for the year. And, I mean, nearly 1,000 yards probably. You know what I mean? And this is a kid who we honestly, I had no idea who he was before. I mean, I know you did, John, out of Penn State. I get that completely. But for me, I was like, who is this? Is this a reach? I don't even know who this guy is. But, yeah, he is incredible. And I think he will probably be the face of our franchise in 2 years' time. Well, then, honestly, I think that's where we're going with it. He will be one of the main people in this entire franchise. Posters with his face on it. That's the guy. That is the guy who is going to sell the jerseys, as well as obviously the quarterback.
That's Keith.
I know. Keith does.
What irritates me, and I think it is
from the barnacle removal.
What's irritating Jahan Dotson is the media is not even talking about him in the same conversation as Garrett Wilson and Olave, which I think he played better than both of them. Other than being injured, I think
that all comes back to who he. That's literally comes back to Jesse because he's in the Washington Commanders uniform. Yeah. That's literally.
They don't believe in his.
He was in any other uniform. You could probably put him in. Giants, Jets, anywhere. You put him anywhere. You put him in anywhere in the NFC East. Put him in a Cowboys jersey. Put him in a Philly jersey. It's literally purely because of who he plays for. That is why he's not being spoke about in that area. It's purely because he's with the Washington Commanders.
So quick
I'll tell you something. Okay, real quick though. You know what I'm laughing about? Andy mentioned the Giants.
You could put him in that jersey and he'd be
if he was elite. He'd be the best wide receiver.
The Giants in general. I mean, goddamn, you want to talk about going to be a laughable of a fucking football team this year? Holy shit! Everybody, join me laughing at the Giants.
I think the Giants are going to be bad this year. Everybody thinks they're going to be good. Everybody thinks they're going to be good for some reason. I don't know
why.
I don't
for
get
what?
It. They got no fucking receivers and a dumbass as a quarterback.
They got nothing. Saquon Barkley's going to get the ball 350 to 400 times, and he's going to break after like 200.
We were all in for Drake London, weren't we? Last time we were in for Drake London. And who would you rather have now? Go around the table and ask yourself, who would you rather have, Drake London or Dotson?
Dotson. I love the pick. I fucking love Dotson all day long. Yeah, best hands coming out.
He'll take a lot of the workload off Terry as well. We're talking about Terry earlier with Dotson on the field. You know what I mean? It's not going to be all focused on one guy, and you can use him in the slot. You can use him all over that offense. You know what I mean? You can wherever you line him up.
All three of the top three.
All three of these guys. Yeah, exactly. You can put Dotson on the outside. You can put Terry in the slot. I mean, you've got so many options this season.
You got Diami Brown that we've had.
Yeah.
Speaking of Curtis Samuel, our wide receiver 3. Who would be a great wide receiver 2 on any team in the NFL?
Right.
Curtis Samuel. How is Eric Bieniemy going to balance Curtis Samuel's role? And I'm going to lump him in with Antonio Gibson because Gibson is going to be one of those guys that you're going to be able to put anywhere on the field.
This is Eric Bieniemy at night looking at his playbook and looking at his roster.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute facts, John.
Is there going to be enough balls to actually go around to keep these guys happy?
No.
Hey, you know what? Touchdowns. Did you ever see that problem with the Chiefs? You ever see anybody complain?
And they gave it. We're the 27th
when you're throwing
ranked.
I mean, I'm not going to say this is not
NFL.
a prediction, but with an offense like that,
that's dummy that.
Is 40 odd touchdowns a year, 50 touchdown passes a year. You think they're going to have a problem spreading the ball around?
No,
I don't think we're getting 50 touchdowns or even 40 touchdown passes a year. But the offense that he's run has been able to do similar things, 30 to 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think we'll put more like we need to put more than 25, 26 points a game on the board.
24 to 27.
Yeah, that's our standard. That's where we were. That's where we've been for the last few.
They ranked us 27th.
We're 19. We're on 19 points average.
We're on. That's what I'm saying. We
one more touchdown a game.
19 points per game we averaged last season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, and I think Bieniemy's going to look at that and go, I swear to fucking God, if you do that this season, I'm going to kill you. I wouldn't want to be that team. If you walk into that locker room at the end of a game and you've only put up 19 points, go and hide somewhere because Bieniemy's going to light a fire under your ass that you're not going to want.
Yeah. And for some reason the blowhards ranked us the 27th best roster in.
It's ridiculous.
NFL. I just don't.
They don't pay attention. They don't pay attention. They get interns to look at it, and the intern goes, whatever. Right?
Do you honestly think that they know that the fourth wide receiver on this depth chart is Dyami Brown? And do they think they know who he is or what he's actually done? They're not interested in that. We know what his role is. He's going to be a deep threat on the go ball. That's where Dyami Brown is going to be. But as a wide receiver 4, he would get in most sides as at least a 3.
Let me throw this. This is Eric Bieniemy. All right. You put Dyami Brown in there, and you're right. Most people are going to think, oh, here he comes. We're going to stretch the field right now. But no, you throw a little bubble screen to him behind like a try set of wide receiver. And my God, they could do so much. They could do so much. And he's really good at doing that. That's why winning cures all, including bitchy, whiny people that say, I didn't get the ball enough.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott said Dyami Brown as our wide receiver 4. Is Sam Howell's rapport with Brown from North Carolina, is that going to come into effect this year?
It can't hurt. I mean, shit, it can't hurt.
I mean, I don't think you'll see a lot of the ball.
Naked in the shower before, so
I just don't see the targets for him.
That's it, Jesse. I don't see a lot of the ball for him, but when
I think he gets like three or four touchdowns, maybe 250 yards.
Yeah,
I think when he does see the ball, he won't let us down. I think he'll be reliable. When
they're training now, Burrows. They're training together now. Sam Howell and Dyami are training right now.
Social media, yeah. I think when he does see the field and when he does see the ball, I think he's going to be a reliable piece of the puzzle. And I think the enemy I think he is going to mix it up every now and again. And even us and even them as players, we're going to see plays where you're like, oh, hang on a minute, we don't do this in Washington. What? We're gonna have them kind of moments next season.
Right.
I'm excited to see what the enemy brings to this team.
Are we keeping
it's just whether these players can match the enemy's vision? Because
that was my next question to you, Jesse. Is it 5 or is it 6?
We have definitely seen some freaking innovative offense. Remember last year when we were in our own end zone, we called throw the ball in the dirt. That was fucking good.
That's all the time. 5 or 6 receivers. Are we keeping 5 or 6 receivers?
I will go 6 because you've got to think of the special teams. So Kemp is probably going to make it through special teams.
Who's that 6th? It got to be the kick returner.
It's got
to be Kaz. Kaz Allen, they like that guy. So goodbye.
But then you still got the guys. I mean, even at the bottom of this depth chart, you're looking at this and you're saying Mitchell Tinsley from Penn State, not a bad receiver. Kyrick McGowan, not a bad receiver. Dax Milne, okay.
I want him gone. I'm done.
Dax is done. Dax is done. Tinsley could push for the punt returner job. I would expect that if it's down to whether it's him or Kaz, that'll probably lay out where it is. We'll get our clues in preseason as to who's returning punts.
But I think you've got to keep 6 because Kemp sews up that 5th spot, which you would have said was Cam Sims' spot, but he's bringing exactly the same, but a bit more on special teams. You know, he is a true gunner at special teams, so he has to stay for that reason.
All right. Well, we're over an hour. Let me get one real quick camp prediction. Jesse, who's going to have the biggest penis?
I'm gonna say Marcus Kemp.
Marcus
Wow.
Kemp. Marcus Kemp.
Good
Now, there you go, young fella. That's a large sock to fill, I guess. Is
I'm gonna go Trent
extra
Scott.
large tube sock.
All right, Andy, what are you looking forward to most in the camp?
Just some football back, really, mate.
Or it being over with in week one.
I just want honestly get training camp done, get preseason done, get me to week one. I just honestly can't wait to be back at FedEx.
If we don't beat the Cardinals by 56 points, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to camp. I'm looking forward, and I'm hoping what Jesse said right earlier. I've been to. This will be my 5th visit to FedEx. I've never seen it fill up ever.
I thought you were going to say you've never seen any of the players' penises. I'm sure Jesse.
No, that was the special tour that Jason Wright gave us when we weren't at that.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't see that.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking to training camp. I was chatting to one of the guy I interviewed for my soccer team over here, and he was a bit the same. Look, what you guys call training camp, like preseason. I like all that, and it's good. We get something to talk about, but man, just get me to regular football. Get me to Sunday afternoons, and make it count. Preseason in the NFL for me is more dumbed down than anything because you're not going to see your stars.
It's still football.
It's still football, which is good.
It is. I mean, it is. But it's not.
As regards to training camp, I just want to see that continuity there. I just want to see us rolling. I don't want to get to week one where we throw a few plays and we're like, what the fuck have we been doing for the last 2 months? You know, when you watch a Washington team, when you watched a Washington team of the past and you watch them, we're in week 3 and they're still like, you see them running across, looking at each other and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? I want to see this team. I want us to, continuity is big for me. Look like we know what the fuck we're doing for once. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I say it again, I honestly think the enemy will be one of the best signings this team has ever made.
Fantastic.
Well, here's the hoping. I mean, you never know. Yeah, I think it had a lot on Hal's shoulder.
Yes,
for me,
with your awesomely cool background, by the way. It looks very.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, appreciate that. I want to see. I want to see the scrimmage. I'm most looking forward to the scrimmage with the Ravens. We haven't done a scrimmage for years, and what that does do.
Bengals was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Or was it the Texans? I remember
the Texans or the Patriots.
Texans and Patriots. Yeah, well, Texans was when D'Angelo Hall was still here.
That's right, when he got his he's got his legs.
Jesus, that was a long time ago.
D-Hop.
We couldn't do it in Richmond. They were contractually obligated to not have anybody else in the place but them, so they couldn't do it, and they were only allowed to practice there. They couldn't go on the road. It was the dumbest goddamn thing they ever did.
I'm most looking forward to
it. It was pretty stupid.
Because that will tell you where you are. And these camp battles that we're going to see for places like center, left guard, for who will be that last wide receiver on the spot, that's where you see it. It's all good. Like me and you and Jesse and Andy, if we set a team up together and we were in the team together, I am not going to go 100% against Burrows because I know fine well if I injure him or he does vice versa, we've got problems. You're never going to do that.
You're not going to get fucking near me, mate. Don't worry about that. You can get near me, mate.
I couldn't.
I would absolutely fucking roast you. The ball wouldn't even be out the quarterback's hand. It'd be like road runner. Meep, meep.
I'm not playing corner. I can't run backwards. I've got one leg. It's useless. Anyway, I'm not saying I'd be any good at the game, but
I've seen you after 2 pints. You can't walk forward.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
For me,
we're not going to. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go 100% against each other. But against the Ravens, you're going to go for it. You're going to go for it in that scrimmage.
True, yeah.
There might be a little more attitude, but I also think that they all realize it's practice. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a different world now, man. These guys, they might show off a little bit for the cameras and whatnot, and they might scrum a little bit, but man, they're all making millions.
Too much money involved to get injured. Too much money.
They don't want to get hurt, and you can get just as hurt trying to be in a physical matchup in that situation. And the other side of the coin is if you go less than 100%, you're going to get hurt. But these are scrimmages.
Yeah.
It's a practice, and they know how to do this. They've been doing it for a long time. The main thing that I'm going to look for in preseason and camp, I don't want to, and this is the cliche thing to say. The first year I was on the podcast and I said this, Keith yelled at me. So Keith, injuries, man, don't get hurt. Just get out there, learn the offense, practice hard, and don't get hit with it. Right? We've been snake bit in the past, man. We come into the season with backups. I just don't want to see it. I want to go in there healthy. I want to remain somewhat healthy throughout the season. So that's my primary concern. Like Andy said, I want to see a little bit. I know that you can't see anything in preseason. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks that they say. Oh, let me see what they're doing. Oh, look at the offense. These are starters against starters. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't make a goddamn bit of difference. They ain't doing a thing. All right. And if you don't understand,
we're going 3-0 and winning the Super Bowl, motherfuckers.
Dude, we went 0-4 the last time we won the Super Bowl, and fucking Joe Gibbs yelled at Steve Buckhantz about it when he asked him about it. Well, Playboy Magazine says that y'all are going to go undefeated.
Playboy Magazine? Well, who the cotton picking is Playboy Magazine to say?
He got all upset. And then we went and annihilated the league. But that's my main thing. Let's get to week 1. Let's get healthy. Be healthy.
Yeah.
John,
talking of week 1, are you going to be with us on Saturday evening?
We'll see what we can do. I'll see what I can do. I am a busy man. My schedule is busy.
He ain't got shit to do.
Oh, I mean, it's not like we're flying halfway across the world or anything. Don't worry about
it. I won't accept anything less than 56-10.
As long as I see John on Sunday, I'm happy. That's fine.
That's fine.
See you on Sunday.
I will say this: I want a good game in week 1. So everybody that's going to the game, please watch where you walk. Don't step on Kyler Murray. I want him healthy for the game.
Oh, he won't be playing.
Just be careful. Don't knock him into a sewer or anything.
A drainage ditch.
Right. We don't need him stuck down a drain. So just be careful where you're walking. Let him get to his locker.
He might get stuck in irrigation.
You realize Kyler Murray's locker is like a fucking matchbook. You just open it up and there's his uniform in there. We'll have a lot more fun Kyler Murray tiny boy jokes coming up.
Do you know is it Bryce Young is the same size though as Kyler
Bryce
Murray?
Young?
Instead of Tom and Jerry.
Well, we'll have to make fun of Bryce Young for being small this year because Kyler Murray isn't playing this year.
It's not going to be the same. We need to have the fun jokes of the small people, but we also still need to say Davis Mills' neck.
Mills' neck. I don't care.
Glennon's neck as well. The giraffe himself.
We'll make fun
Sam
of
Darnold's forehead or tin head or whatever.
I would like to know what Bryce Young, a young black man, felt like growing up with a country music star name. That's the kind of name that writes a song about God dang, I love my flag. I love my flag and I love my job and here's my truck and I'm a big old American with a gun. Bryce Young singing along. Don't take away my Second Amendment rights because I just might have to use it against the government. Go Trump.
Christ.
And I think on that note, we'll move on. Thanks, gents.
The latest hit from Bryce Young. Now, what you do is you got to take 2 names that are both first names, and you have one guy named like Lee Bryce, and then you have a Bryce Lee, and that's how you do it.
Okay.
Country Music Marketing 101. That's
there
what
you go.
Write the same song you wrote last month, sell it to the heaps.
Producer John.
Thieves at goddamn Walmart.
I just love that Bryce Young. Honey, hand me that new CD. My scooter won't reach it.
I think I'm all out. I'm done. I'm
done too.
I'm done too. All right, I'm getting punched. All right, so there you go. We had a whole July.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, beginning of July, we actually found some shit to talk about. What do you know? Thank God for Andy to come in and save the show.
That's it. In 2 weeks, we'll do our training camp preview.
Yes, that's right. And I tell you what, I will be nothing but pleased as punch to get to it.
It's gonna be
because
fun.
in 2 weeks, we'll have only a week to go before training camp. And I'm sure there won't be anything to talk about then either.
I probably won't.
But we'll do our best.
Wait, it'll be the 21st. So it'll be the day after Josh Harris takes over the team. So, we'll have something to talk about.
Maybe we can have Dan Snyder on the show.
That might be good. Yeah.
Like an exit interview.
That would be good. We'll do Dan
Snyder. Pass along
Snyder.
some messages from Jerry. Ask Tanya if she's got any panties for Jerry.
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
All right. See, now you know what?
No wonder Jason Wright won't come on our show.
See, Scotty's his head's all turned red.
Oh, God, but it's over there in America. They go after people's panties.
All right. Until next time, folks.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
All right. Next time, everybody.
Where's the music?
Oh yeah, I got to put on the. God damn it!
Put
I don't.
music on, John.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
John's the.
I know. I have failed as host yet again. I
Your
know.
medication today.
Who's this that's over here? There's somebody that's watching that's really having a hell of a good time. It's Anunnaki. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. We're glad you.
No
gave you
worries,
something
boys.
to
Take
do.
care.
All right, see you later. I have to think that Anunnaki is probably somebody
Good to
that
talk.
some evil organization chained to the wall and make me later.